What's up, boys?
What up?
Oh, Joe, life be life and life be life and
Mm-hmm.
um well, for those new to the program, this is the Boys Podcast, Bunch of Idiots Sports, where I, James, am joined as always by my younger big brother from another mother, Joe. uh, Join us as we deep dive into all sports, at least a little bit.
Oh, I'll be diving deep. How you doing?
At least a little bit. And probably laugh at us, cry because we're dumb, or in the 0.1% chance, you learn something. Doesn't have to be about sports. You will learn something. Something about me, something about Joe, something about Joe's dog, something about my kitten. There you go. I just taught you something. I got a cat.
Hold up. Hold up. Why you say kitten for you, but not puppy for me? That's bullshit.
How old is your puppy?
5 months.
Mine's 6 weeks, so I win.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe
But
has a puppy.
in retrospect, your cat lives a whole hell of a lot longer generally.
True, but I also had 2 dogs live past 16, so
Yeah, that's valid. Uh-oh.
and that was before I turned 30.
Math ain't mathing.
It is mathing. I had one that was already like 3,
Math ain't math.
lived to 16, died when I was like 14, and then I got the other one.
Math ain't mathing.
That makes perfect sense.
No, math
Neither dog I had from puppy. Well, one dog I had from puppy, but the other one I didn't have from puppy. The other one I had like 6 years old. Deuce was like 6 when we got him.
Yeah, but you didn't have the other one for puppy, so you never had any of them for puppy.
I had my childhood dog, Shadow. I don't think you ever met Shadow. She was a Chow Chow, Black Chow. She was literally me until 16, 15. She died in high school. She was the dog of my whole life. Bye.
Bye. She'll be back in like 2 hours.
She didn't say bye to me.
She'll be back in like 2 hours. She's got to go learn how to close up shop.
Oh, it'd be like that.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
That's kind of what I was worried about.
The dog?
Kennel.
Oh. Is she rambunctious?
When she can hear that I'm still here and she's stuck in her kennel.
Oh. Why don't you let her out?
Because I'm in another room that she can't get into.
Oh.
Because then she'll tear it to PC.
All right.
If she stops. If she doesn't, I might swap over to my phone. So.
And we'll see Ripley. All right. That'll work. All right. Well, let's just.
You want me to just do that now? Since we're not into it yet?
I don't care. Do what you want.
All right. I'm going to do that. Fuck it.
Yeah. Do it.
I'll be back.
Full send it. All right. Now that Joe's gone, we're gonna just talk about Joe, and then we're gonna test to see if he actually watches this back. So I'm gonna say an emoji right now, and I want him to repeat it for me next week. So we're gonna go the sunglasses emoji, just to see if Joe will watch this back or listen to it back, either or. And I want him to say it next week. But yeah, I got a kitten. Her name is Luna. She's 6 weeks old. She's like yay big for those on YouTube. She's like yay big. And she is the most energetic kitten ever, right? So Joe's not here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into our first topic, which was over the course of 2 weeks, we lost 2 legends of sports, both in the NFL and in the NBA. Very unfortunate. The reason why I want to do this without Joe, well, Joe can put his 2 cents in, but one of them was like my favorite Cowboy of all time, Larry Allen. He was a man among boys. He was very, very 110% all the time. I really enjoyed the fact that I was able to grow up watching him be a man. He's actually one of the reasons why I'm like very, very, as a running back, that's what I played when I played football. Very, very appreciative of the big boys up front, because if not for the big boys, the little boys don't do much. And I love how every play, every snap, he gave 110%, 300 plus pounds, and he ran like a 4.3. You can't tell me different. That man always gave 120 million%, always. And it sucks because when you lose a player that you idolized growing up and you thoroughly enjoyed watching and got to see the type of character he had off the field as well. And it's unfortunate. No, I didn't know him personally, but this really hurts. Like it hit me hard. It really did. And I know it hit the other players like Emmett and Michael and that team from the 90s. That's a team I grew up watching. That's the reason why I'm a Cowboys fan, is because of that team. Like it was tough. It was tough. And he was young. 50's young. It's not old anymore. So it's a good reminder to always hug your loved ones. Give them kisses, tell them you love them. Life's too short. Don't waste it. Live life to the fullest. Give it your all. Give 120% in anything you do. Anything at all. This is my TED Talk. I appreciate you guys listening. Joe is having troubles signing in, so I have to send him the info. All right. So, yeah, that was my initial. Like, it sucked. But Joe should be coming back in here, and we lost the legend of Jerry West. But I want to get Joe's feelings on Larry Allen, and then Jerry West, another legend. It's crazy. Life is way, way, way too short. Cherish it. Cherish the moments. Live it to the fullest. Seriously, 120%. Anything you do, anything at all, and you'll succeed. I promise. I promise you that. Give it your all. You will succeed. I wasn't expecting this to turn into a TED Talk. I really wasn't. But I just that's something that I live by. I get 100%, 110, 120. You can always give more. Even when you feel like you can't, give more. Even when you don't feel like you have it, give more. Because you do have it. You can do it. Live it to the fullest. Always. And now we're going to have some awkward silence now. Jerry West, another legend. The only player in NBA history to win Finals MVP for a losing team. He's the logo, a Laker all-time great, NBA all-time great. It's tough as you get older and you start losing the players that you grew up watching, or that I know I didn't grow up with Jerry West. He was before my time. There's Joe. Hey, Joe. I was just talking about Larry Allen and Jerry West. I said what I needed to say about Larry Allen, and it turned into a TED Talk. And I was just talking about Jerry West. So I had the floor for a couple minutes. So Joe, if you would like, you can share your thoughts on Larry Allen and Jerry West.
Larry Allen's the best to ever wear the star. I texted you when I found out. Like as a big guy that grew up in the 90s, like that was the goal. Like, I was not a Cowboys fan, but like he's the dream, right? Like, the kids today, it's Jason Kelsey, like if they're a whole lineman or something like that, Like, when I was growing up, it was Larry Allen. Like, I love Tom Nalen and all those guys, but like the guy at the peak was Larry, and that's who you wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to be the guy that could throw people around, but also chase people down.
Mm-hmm. I swear, I mentioned it before. You weren't in here, but I swear he ran a 4.3. You can't tell me different.
Yeah,
He ran a 4.3.
dude was a middle linebacker in another life. That's for damn sure.
Mm.
But I don't know, that one hurt me, and I'm like I said, not a Cowboys fan, but like he's upper echelon. Like that's like Trent Williams. That's like the GOAT, right? Like, I love Joe Thomas, and I say he's the greatest left tackle, but I always specify left tackle. The GOAT lineman is Larry Allen. That's just period.
I agree. I think he's the greatest lineman of all time, and I also agree he's the best Cowboy player of all time.
And then the Jerry West news happened today. Like, the logo, man. R.I.P. He is like, we've never seen him play, obviously, or unless you're watching the highlights or something like that. But a lot of the teams that have been built over the years, he's a key contributor to a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a lot of really, really important things for basketball outside of being the basketball player he was,
Mm-hmm.
and what he represented. He hell of a player.
Did you know he was the only NBA player to be Finals MVP in a loss?
I believe it.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he was the first player. Hi, Ripley. First player in NBA history in the Naismith Hall of Fame as a player and contributor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he did. He gave so much to the sport on and off the court. He's the reason why Kawhi is in LA right now.
Mm-hmm. Stop it. We're not playing.
So that's to just show like he was always active, and the Kawhi thing was what 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, when he went to, I heard this recently. I think it was on UD and Mike Miller's pod. They were talking about the Grizzlies, but when Jerry West went and helped out there, they were the lowest winning percentage in all of like U.S. professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like the major four, they were the lowest winning percentage, and he turned them around, got them like Powell and like all those guys, And I mean, he's
didn't Marc Gasol win like 2 Defensive Player of the Years there during that time? Like, yeah, he's great. He's in like I was explaining, it sucks to lose someone that is a big part of the game you love, football, basketball, baseball, doesn't matter the sport, and especially it hits harder when it's obviously when you're older and you're understanding it a little bit more. Like I mentioned, for me, for Larry Allen, it was like he's one of the key contributors of me being a Cowboys fan. Other than them winning Super Bowls as I was growing up, like he makes you appreciate the big boys. Like, what does everyone always say about Emmitt Smith record? Oh, well, if he didn't have Larry Allen in that offensive line, well, I'm the type of person, and he's like, yeah, you're right. That's why he's not the greatest running back of all time. But
well, like it's always said, like, what would Barry Sanders have done behind that Cowboys O line?
He wouldn't have juked anybody. He wouldn't have needed to. So would he be the same Barry Sanders?
Every handoff would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, but would he have been the same Barry Sanders? He's just been running, like he would be discredited just like Emmitt is.
Nah, because I mean, Barry at college was still another animal. No,
Yeah, I
we're
know.
not playing. No,
Ripley's like, put me in, coach.
no, she wants to play tug of war with a rope.
Oh, at least she's not barking.
I don't know. At least she's not playing with her pig, the squeakers.
Oh, I got a mouse squeaker for Luna. She'll get it stuck because she's just learning like how to claw. So
Mm-hmm.
she'll get it stuck in her paw and she'll be like, trying to shake it off her paw.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So let's to get away from the sad stuff and get into the more Boise stuff. It's unfortunate whenever this happens, and I feel like as you do age, it kind of hits a little bit harder. You understand a little bit more, and when it's someone you grew up watching or someone that you know is a huge impact on whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be sports. It hits you a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's jump into something more happier, more Boise.
Boise State.
Yeah, more Boise Statey.
Ow!
Which
That hurt.
for those wondering what you were going to learn today, I was accepted into Boise State.
He was. I remember this.
There we go. There you go. The only reason why I did not go is because I missed the walk-on period for football. Otherwise, I would have been a Bronco.
Mm-hmm.
I would have played on the blue turf. But their walk-on period was in the middle of January, and living in the Midwest, that's a lot of snow. It would have been impossible for me to go there to play football. At least I would have had to wait a year, and I didn't want to wait a year. I wanted to get into the grind. But yeah. Does that count as breaking news? All right, so we have a fun show outside of the first 18 minutes. Promise. We're going to talk NBA. We're going to talk Stanley Cup. Baseball sucks. There's baseball talk. And we're going to do AFC East breakdown this week. We did the AFC North last week. And of course, we have to start with the best news. Caitlin Clark is still awesome. Even though she's not on the Olympic team.
Dude, how she's handling everything is just wild.
I love what she said. Is that she just woke a monster. I love it.
She's whoever her publicist is or whatever, or like whoever like gets her ready for all the talk and everything is a sheer genius.
And she's only 22. So she's like to be so well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see that in younger athletes, but you see it in her. And I'm just looking up. Ooh.
Stop it.
The
No.
Fever have won 2 games since our last pod. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's
CC.
go. Let's go. Because, we're the number 1 Fever podcast. Self-proclaimed number 1 Fever podcast. And I don't know if I think Caitlin Clark should have been on Team USA, but I love that Caitlin Clark's using it to motivate herself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she deserved it because, she's been doing pretty good for a rookie. She set she tied the rookie record for threes. I think was like 8 in a game or something like that.
Yeah. Well, see, my whole thing is, right, and I heard this somewhere as well, every other first overall pick that is averaging what she's averaging has been selected to the Olympic team.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that they didn't choose her because of they wanted the Caitlin Clark hype to die down. That's why the people are like
no, Rip, I'm not playing. I'm sorry.
Being more
you keep
aggressive with
blaming
Caitlin.
toys.
Being more aggressive with Caitlin or talking more shit to Caitlin because I don't know her name. I could probably pull it up and figure it out. But there was one one player who basically said, other than shoot threes, what does she bring to the game? I don't get the hype. Or that was probably a nicer way. I probably said it nicer than the way they said it. Yeah, but she's averaging 16 points a game, which isn't amazing. But, I mean,
No,
she's still
stop
amazing.
it. I booped your nose with me telling you to stop it.
Not the nose boop.
No, it's not time to play. She's bringing me like her ball and wants to play. Stop it.
Full send it. Just chuck it. Yeah, and Caitlin Clark is still 15th in the league. So yeah, I think that's good enough to be on the Olympic team. I don't know. Probably Caitlin Clark fatigue, whoever selected the team. Anywho, so last week we didn't have a pod, but we kind of talked about the finals. We kind of made our predictions. I think they're kind of going south, at least for me. Because I did take the Mavericks in 6, so now they would have to win 4 straight. So just to group them both together, Joe, NBA and NHL, both are currently 2-0 the home team, right? Panthers were at home both games too, right? Yes. So the home team is up 2-0. So I asked this question to you, Joe. Which team down 0-2 do you think would have a better chance to come back and win the series? Mavs or the Oilers?
Get down now.
And Ripley's nose.
Being obnoxious. So playing the odds, right? I think it's easier to pull off a win when needed in hockey, because it's such lower scoring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get a couple lucky bounces there, I think you can get a big enough lead that you can kind of sneak away with it. The similarities between these two series is actually insane to me. I would argue that, both sides, the team that's down 2-0 is has the best player, like maybe in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Connor McDavid's awesome, Luka's awesome. I think it's easier to get a couple lucky bounces here and there for hockey to steal a win.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, it's just there's so many variables and so much time and such high points that I find it difficult. I don't see how it happens.
Yeah, for me, I agree. Logistically, the hockey one is easier. However, the Panthers have something that the Celtics do not. At least it's yet to be seen for the Celtics. They have a certified closer. Their goalie is absolutely insane, especially since the last year's run and now this year's run. He's been absolutely incredible. He's basically saving everything, it seems like.
Yeah. You're going to get zapped.
And I just think the Panthers. I think the Panthers are more of a mismatch for the Oilers. The Oilers are good. But I think that they're more of a mismatch for them than the Celtics over the Mavs, because I think hypothetically, if they both won Game 3, both the O2 teams, they both won Game 3. I could see Luka and the Mavs gaining a little bit of traction, because both sports are a game of momentum for sure. But Jason Tatum's been playing like shit, and the Celtics are winning in spite of that.
Yeah.
So if the Mavericks start to play better and Tatum doesn't, I'm not saying, well, Tatum's played like shit the whole playoffs. He's had a couple good games here and there, but he's played relatively not good. Luke has been incredible in basically every game.
Yeah.
Kyrie has now been kind of stinking. If Kyrie can get going, I think the Mavs can complete the comeback easier than the Oilers. I don't know that I'll pick either one. I'm probably willing to concede that the Celtics will win their 18th title. And Tatum will not be Finals MVP, which I think that will be even funnier.
Will be.
That is the best case scenario. Celtics win, but Tatum's not the MVP.
I mean, that'll be funniest.
I mean, for us both being Heat fans, I think it's hilarious. So funny. So because I mean, I never thought Tatum's a good player, but like in the NBA, it doesn't matter how good you are in the regular season. It's all about the postseason. That's why James Harden, great regular season player, a whole lot of accolades, a whole lot of crazy games. Playoffs is nothing. You could say the same thing for Joel Embiid. What do we talk about Jimmy Butler? His nickname is Playoff Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't care. He performs in the playoffs. That's the legacy.
Jimmy won't be remembered though in 20 years compared to those other two though.
You're right. But I'm just, as of right now, like Jimmy's known for his playoff performances. Hell, even if Luka doesn't win this series, Luka is still an amazing playoff performer.
Luka's just amazing.
Luka is amazing. But
Like, oh,
also, I tried this in the NBA series when the Timberwolves eliminated the Nuggets. So if you remember my first hockey game, 2019, NHL 2019 or 2K19, is it 2K19? I was drafted by the
EA.
Panthers.
So it's not 2K.
It's not 2K?
No, it's EA made.
Oh, so it's NHL 19 then?
Yeah.
Okay. I was drafted by the Panthers. So like I'm a Panthers. I'm just a Florida hockey fan at this point. Right. Call me a bandwagon. I don't care, Joe. I'll be a bandwagon.
Weren't you a Lightning fan just a few years ago?
Like last year, because technically 2 years ago, because it was Lightning versus Avs.
Yeah.
And I did it for the pod, and then Tampa's like right around the corner. I mean, I don't really have an official team, but actually, I don't know if you saw this. It's kind of random, but you know, this is what we do. I've been doing videos trying to get my 4 favorite teams on the same filter, because they have the one that has hockey, basketball, baseball, and football. So, and it's just pro teams, and I was trying to just get all of my teams. Someone commented and said, "You're a Cowboys fan, a Cubs fan, a Heat fan, and a Lightning fan." I said, "Yeah." Is there a problem? And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "What's the problem?" Like, they're not all in the same state. I was like, "So what's the, like, I don't understand." And then today I made a video explaining, like, I grew up in the 90s watching the Cowboys win Super Bowls. That explains one. Doesn't matter where I live at that point, because that's 90 I would say like 95% of how people become fans of teams. They watch them win a Super Bowl or something along those lines. There's something that sticks out with them. And then, I'm a Cubs fan because, I lived in Iowa. I was playing baseball, and the Cubs, other than the Twins, but at that time I was like, Minnesota sports are stupid. So the Cubs are like the next close. Oh, I guess St. Louis is closer, but Aramis Ramirez. Like I explained that, and I was like Dwayne Wade's favorite player of all time, Heat fan, and I'm like an hour away from Tampa. That explains Lightning. Like, what do you like? Be a fan of who the hell you want to be. Like, I don't like why do people like Iowa has no professional teams, so by that logic, we can't have any sports teams. We can't be a fan of them. Oh, I didn't even think about that. The Iowa Cubs. Duh. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, you could really get away with everything. Just like Cowboys fan, right? Cowboys fan. They're everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Where you grew up, right? Iowa Cubs and the Sioux Falls Skyforce.
True.
And then you didn't become a hockey fan until you
like
moved to Florida.
Like 2 years ago. Yeah, everything logistically makes sense. Like I was born in North Carolina, but the Panthers weren't a team. If the Panthers were a team when I was born, I'd probably be a Panthers fan.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't a team when I was born. That makes me old. I'm old. We both are older than the Carolina Panthers.
That's valid.
Oop. All right. So there we go. We crushed everything so far. So you know what? I just have a blind side. I saw a video earlier. Do a blind side, and then we can break down the AFC East. It's a quick blind side.
Okay.
I promise. All right. So the blind side is, which is easier to make? The Mount Rushmore of Marvel or Mount Rushmore of DC?
For me, or for it to be correct?
In general. I guess it doesn't have to be correct, but like which one do you think would be easier to put together? Because for me, I think I already have both Mount Rushmores, like just in the noggin, like DC as two pretty obvious ones, even though you might not include one. You might include them, Superman and Batman. Like,
for me, DC would be easier. But
I feel like
to
DC
be factually correct, right? Marvel's probably easier.
Yeah, I think DC is easier to do it because like there's obviously like DC's like obvious ones. Like, I mean, I think 3 of them is the Flash, Batman, and Superman, and the 4th one is like who do you prefer? Aquaman, Green Lantern, the Arrow. Like, what?
I mean,
what else?
To be correct, I would say it's Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, Wonder Woman. See, I didn't even think of Wonder Woman. Yeah. No, okay.
Like,
there we go.
To be factually correct, that is probably the factually correct one.
That actually probably is the top 4 right there.
But like for me, I'm just swapping out Batman because I hate Batman.
Yeah, I know. For you, it's not Batman, but like, so for Marvel, it'd be what? Captain America, obviously. And
Iron Man has to be up there. Spider-Man has to be up there, and I would say Wolverine.
That's fair. Hi, Ripley. Hi, Ripley. She's gotten so much bigger. She pain in the butt yet?
Oh yeah.
Does she wake you up randomly?
Oh yeah. Stop it. Stop getting into everything because nobody's playing with you. Stop it.
And this episode is brought to you by Ripley, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor yet, allegedly. So
Allegedly.
yeah, DC is probably easier to make, but Marvel's would, if they were head to head. Nah, they got Superman. DC got Superman.
I mean, sure, but like, what are you doing with Deadpool and the Hulk?
Yeah, but if it's just Mount Rushmores.
Oh, just the Mount Rushmores?
Yeah, just the Mount Rushmores head to head. I mean, Tony would probably figure out Kryptonite.
Probably. How long do they get to prepare is the main thing.
I mean, I don't know. Batman probably already has contingency plans.
He doesn't know that world exists.
Yeah, but he probably has it, though. He probably already has them. He'll probably use
Iron Man
Kryptonite
has just as many contingency plans, so if they both do, then Iron Man also gets it.
Yeah, no, I just like Batman would probably try to use Kryptonite on the Hulk and fail miserably.
Probably.
The Hulk gets bigger. He just eats it.
Well, other than Superman, so let's say they get rid of Superman, how are they dealing with Wolverine?
The only thing that I think could actually be done is the Flash would have to phase into Wolverine and rip out his spine.
Yeah. But even then, like Wolverine's like he didn't get his powers from the spine.
Well, no, if he ripped out the whole skeleton, he'd have to like phase into Wolverine and like fatality.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the healing capabilities of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Even though Deadpool took Wolverine's healing capabilities.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Very weird. Because Deadpool would grow back from a hand. Wolverine would not.
I know what you're doing.
Uh-oh. Pizza time. All right, so let's jump into the You wouldn't dare.
Oh, I have never shocked her. But I use the alarm and then I use the vibrate.
Oh. You get the fence installed?
What?
You have like the fence outside?
No. This is more training.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Gucci. All right, let's do AFC East breakdown. Again, last week we did the AFC North, so if you missed that, go check it out. Available wherever you get your podcasts. All right, so the AFC East is kind of interesting, depending on how you look at it, with the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots. Let's just start with the probably unanimous fourth place, the Patriots.
Okay.
Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach.
If any team is reminding you of last year's Texans in the entire league, who is it?
If you're going strictly off of rookie head coach and rookie quarterback.
And people think the wide receiver room is trash, and people think the young running back might be solid.
I see where you're going with it, but I don't see it with Drake May.
All I'm saying is if there were to be a last year, like that's lightning in a bottle. Nobody's going to catch it. But if there's a team that is similar.
Because it's the only team that has a rookie head coach and rookie quarterback.
Well, not only that, it was the guy who was projected for years to be the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah.
It is a former linebacker for the team that is now the head coach, touted as a CEO type, with a rookie wide receiver that they handpicked, that the quarterback handpicked, with a young running back who has shown promise but probably won't amount to much.
I don't know what we saw from CJ Stroud last year was pretty unprecedented.
Yeah, no, it's lightning in a bottle. It's not happening again for 70 years, right?
If it happens again, I'm going to give you 96% of the credit for just saying that right now, even though you might not believe it.
Right? But like if we're looking at the broad scope, who is following the plan?
Yeah.
Kinda. It's the same blueprint.
Yeah, they're doing all right in terms of like how they're starting Mayo's tenure. I actually had a question about Mayo. Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Yes. When you what?
That was mayonnaise. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Yeah, I don't. I like where your head's at. I don't think that's happening.
I'm being devil's advocate, right? Like, I don't believe that. I think they are going to be one of the worst teams in the league, but we thought that about the Texans, is all I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't think they were going to be that bad.
I mean, Vegas had them as getting the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, well, Vegas is dumb. Vegas made the Chiefs underdogs like 3 times in the postseason last year.
Yeah. Yeah, but
it'd be exciting if it did happen. That would really make the AFC East probably one of the most exciting divisions, if everyone stays healthy and if somehow Drake May is just
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it's just CJ Stroud. But also, correct me if I'm wrong. CJ Stroud was projected rookie of the year last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then Will Anderson wasn't projected defensive player of the year, but he was like second because everyone had Carter over him.
Yeah.
So I think
Wait, no, projected? Is that what you're saying?
Who Vegas thought
it was Bryce Young. Bryce Young was the favorite.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was dumb. You're right. You're right. I completely forgot about Bryce because he was pretty not relevant last year.
It was either Bryce Young or it would have been Bijan. CJ was pretty far down.
I know. Oh, yeah, yeah. I think it was Bryce Young. I think you're right. But I mean, now we know that the Texans chose the right person for them.
Yeah.
Is CJ already the greatest Texan quarterback of all time?
No.
Matt Schaub. All right, cool. So, outside of your lightning in a bottle, Patriots in 4th?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's just go up the division. Last year, the Jets, I think, were 3rd.
Yeah.
With 7 wins. Losing Aaron Rodgers and still winning 7 games, I think, is a testament to how good the defense is.
I think it's a testament to how good Breece Hall is, but yeah.
Breece Hall, also Garrett Wilson, also. But that was Zach Wilson at quarterback, who is now quarterbacking another team. Went from Wilson to Wilson law firm.
Yeah.
Assuming Rodgers stays healthy, with the additions of Tyron Smith, they added – what did they add? Morgan Moses, Olu Fashanu. They added Hassan Reddick from the Eagles.
Yep.
They got Mike Williams from the Chargers.
Yep.
And I feel like they got someone else on the line, but I'm drawing a blank. So they redid their line. They got rid of Milf and Cookies.
They got rid of John Franklin Myers, who is also a Bronco now.
Fair. And Bryce Huff, which I think he went to the Eagles.
I believe so, yeah.
But Hassan Reddick's a huge signing. I like they tried to patch the O-line, which obviously Aaron Rodgers' injury had nothing to do with the offensive line. He wasn't tackled. It was like him planting. It was MetLife turf.
Yeah.
So in theory, it had nothing to do with the line.
In theory.
So assuming the line holds up, I mean,
Assuming Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, assuming the line stays healthy.
Yeah, assuming everything goes according to plan, because I mean Tyron Smith is obviously he's on his Hall of Famer, most likely.
Bound to miss 50% of the games.
Bound to miss at least 7 games, at least 7. And obviously question marks with Moses and Fashanu. So we'll see. I don't know what would you say their ceiling is, assuming everything goes
ceiling. Like
ceiling.
if Rodgers is MVP Rodgers again.
I don't think he has to be MVP Rodgers, but yeah, sure. If Rodgers is, I don't want to say his last year in Green Bay because that wasn't a good year. If Rodgers is league average, like top 14.
I mean, I think they're probably. I don't know who they got as far as schedule goes, as far as divisions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're kind of a 500 team.
So like fringe playoff, but not quite. Yeah, I feel like that too. I feel like they're in that like 9 and 8, anywhere from 8 and 9 to like 10 and 7, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's probably what I would say.
Like they could make the 7th seed. I think is probably their ceiling. Is the 7th seed. What they do in the playoffs. Once you're in there, you're in there. But I think 7th seed is probably like their ceiling.
Yeah.
And then once you make the playoffs, all bets are off. Anything can happen.
I mean,
a lot of crazy things.
Like realistically, I think it's probably similar to that of like later Drew Brees era Saints, right? Because later Drew Brees era Saints had Michael Thomas. Let's say that's Garrett Wilson. Alvin Kamara. Let's say that's Brees Hall, and a pretty good defense.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do, generally around 500, sneaking into the playoffs.
Maybe win a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I feel like that's a pretty good ceiling for them, assuming everything goes right. But also because we also know the Jets are also the Jets, they're probably going to win 5 games, and the Patriots are going to win like 3.
Maybe.
All right. Let's just keep on keeping on. Let's go down south to Miami. A lot of departures from Miami this offseason. A lot of additions. I don't know if they're upgrades. We'll have to see. Jordan Brooks, nice addition. Jordan Poyer, good addition. Jonnu Smith. I
like him in the Shanahan offense.
Yeah. And then OBJ. I don't understand. I get it. OBJ was great at one point. He was great realistically for about 2 seasons. And then his diva started coming out, and then he started getting hurt. So So realistically, he's had really maybe even 3 good seasons. He's a good guy to have in case something goes wrong.
I think their perfect world. So much like I think the Jets' perfect world relies around Rodgers. I think Dolphins' perfect world relies around their offensive line.
Yeah, I wish they would have done more. Which, by the way, I don't know if we talked about it. I told you they were going to draft an offensive lineman with their first pick. I told you.
I can't believe they drafted Chop. You know what? I may be wrong. Chop may be awesome.
Even if he is, then what does he do to protect Tua?
Chop may be awesome. But here's my thought. They just signed Bradley Chubb to an extension.
Yep.
Colin.
But they also lost Christian Wilkins.
Jalen Phillips is due for an extension here soon. And I think he's the best pass rusher they have.
Yeah.
Are they going to let
an Achilles?
Are they going to let him walk?
Maybe.
They brought in Shaq Barrett. I actually loved that signing.
Yeah.
But
they lost Van Ginkel.
Yeah.
You can't. Then now they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose all the games. You need Van Ginkel.
Yeah. Their defense. People are real down on it. I still think it's solid.
It has its moments.
I think Wilkins will be a huge miss. I think Poyer will add some defensive leadership. I really like that one.
Mix him with Jalen Ramsey, but they also lost
X.
Howard.
Yeah. So I'm liking the defense. The fact that they have not paid a blindside tackle for Tua drives me up a wall.
They haven't even paid Tua yet, right?
No. But you have a lefty quarterback, and your right tackle is probably the worst position on your entire team. Yeah. What are you doing?
Their center wasn't amazing either.
Connor Williams was solid.
I'm just throwing shade at former Cowboys.
He was solid.
Actually, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Dallas had 2 Connor Williams at the same time.
Probably.
They had both Roy Williams at the same time, so I mean, if it's the MO.
Losing Connor Williams and Robert Hunt, I think that'll be honestly pretty big miss. Hopefully they can get some free agency signings. I don't know, because that O-line scares me. I don't understand GMs that don't. Like, the Broncos haven't drafted an offensive tackle in any round since Garrett Bowles.
That's probably why. I mean, if that was the last one you drafted, would you keep drafting them?
But in any round?
Just throwing some Garrett Bowles slander. Didn't they draft him at like age 40?
Basically. But, like, those are always the things that drive me nuts. Get your head out of there. Stop digging your freaking head into the couch.
All right, so they didn't do anything to protect Tua. The offense is still obviously it's going to be electric when you have the speed that they have. So maybe that's what they're relying on. Get the ball out of Tua's hands quickly, get it into Mostert. Or is Mostert still there?
Yes.
Mostert, Achane, Tyreek, Waddle, now Jonnu Smith, OBJ, whoever else is there. They got a lot of speed. That's one thing OBJ has, a lot of speed. Maybe not as much as he used to, but they have a lot of different ways to hit you and stretch the field. So maybe that's their plan, just dink and dunk.
I think it's bad philosophy, but yeah.
I also agree. Because dink and dunk doesn't work if you're down 12.
I genuinely believe if an offensive lineman isn't at least your third highest paid position on offense, you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Stop it.
All right. So Dolphins. What's their ceiling?
Ceiling? So are we saying their line is average like Rodgers is average?
Yeah. Well, same as before in a perfect world.
I think if their line is at least average, man, they might win 12 games.
Is division.
Yeah, if their line is average, like those skill players like are insane.
Yeah, they really are. So if the line is average, you got them winning 12 games and the division. I think they can win the division. I think even with their line being their line, not even factoring in perfect world, I think they can and probably will win the division.
I don't dispute that. But like 12, 13 games if their line is average, right? Like
Yeah, but they won 12, 13 games last year, didn't they?
11, I think.
Oh.
Would you stop?
But they also fell apart down the stretch. They can't play in cold. So that's one thing that's shown to be true. Like in Tua's games under like 46 degrees, he hasn't won.
Yeah.
And that's not a good statistic. So how do you avoid that?
Well, okay. So you played collegiately, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that the game, like, speed doesn't kill as much in the cold, right?
Yeah,
like
speed does not
you lose, like, you're a little bit slower.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like everything's just a little bit slower.
Yep, your blood.
And if everything's a little bit slower, that quick time to pass, that expands.
Yep.
So like the reason they can't win in the cold is because they don't have linemen.
And also, how do you avoid that? You win 12, 13 games and you get the number 1 seed.
Yeah. They like just like I love Waddle. If they would to trade Waddle for, I don't know, Quentin Nelson, right? My God, things would be so much better there.
Yeah, just get one really good lineman.
You put Zach Martin at right guard. That's a whole new team.
Yeah. Not every team can have a Hall of Fame guard playing for him right now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like guard is probably the like least valuable position on the offensive line.
Unless you're Larry Allen.
Yeah. But like center for calling protections and everything, tackles obviously for blinds, for bookends. So guard is probably like there. Like otherwise you're going like tight end fullback, but like after tight end fullback it's probably guard.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. Like I understand, but like if you're going to spend money to like try and get a discount somewhere, like that's a pretty easy spot. Like other than what is it, Dickerson, right? He's the only guard making 20 plus.
Mm-hmm.
The only one.
Yeah.
Like spend 15 million and get a really good one.
Yeah, I agree, but Dolphins gonna Dolphin.
That makes no sense.
All right, and last but not least, what I think, arguably, you could say had the worst offseason, or at least since the draft. I mean, you can make the argument. The Buffalo Bills traded their pick to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs took Xavier Worthy, traded Diggs,
Stop.
lost Gabe Davis. Unless they lose. Lost Poyer. I believe they lost Micah Hyde as well. Is that right?
They lost Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, they lost Tre'Davious White. They lost so many key pieces.
Mm.
And then they added 3 new receivers, like rookie Keon Coleman. They added Curtis Samuel and who was the last one they added? It wasn't another rookie, was it?
What do you mean?
The Bills. Matt
At what-
Collins.
Yeah.
The receivers. They added Curtis Samuel, Matt Collins, and Keon Coleman. They lost Diggs, Poyer, Hyde, Leonard Floyd, Tre'Davious White, Dane Jackson, Gabe Davis, and Mitch Morse.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah. But
And, I mean,
in a way, I understand it, right?
Well, they had to get rid of Diggs. I know that.
Well, not only that, but like a lot of those guys were either injury prone or above 30.
Yep. And I like Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman's a good receiver.
So they were doing a changing the guard, which like it makes sense. You got to do it at some point,
Mm-hmm.
in order to make like the salary structure all work together. So like I get it, and maybe they run a lot more 12 personnel because they got 2 good tight ends.
Maybe Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. I mean that maybe.
Um,
Maybe they're trying to do the Chiefs thing where wide receiver doesn't matter, make your best weapon your tight end, and run the ball more.
Yeah.
Because Cook was cooking. Cook was cooking last year.
So like realistically, I can see a way that the offense is fine. Defense, it's a good scheme. That it's a little concerning that they're losing that much in the secondary.
Yes, that's 3 of their leaders. Tre'Davious White has been injury prone the last couple of years, so he makes sense. But to lose Poyer and Hyde,
yeah, I might have to take a little break here for a second. She might need to go outside.
Okay, you're gonna leave me by myself again with the people. I got you.
Yeah, for a minute. I'll be back.
I got you. He could have left. He didn't have to sit there on the screen. So yeah, I think the Bills are most likely going to still win the division because you have a quarterback as good as Josh Allen is. Even though I am very, very heavy on him, he does turn the ball over too much. He needs to protect the ball, but I do see the value in the way the Bills are trying to build this team. It'll work. It'll probably work, and it'll work great. There probably won't be any issues at all. Actually, they probably won't miss a beat. They started to run the ball last year. They were playing very well. Josh wasn't turning it over as much, and maybe they're trying to carry that momentum into next year. And they got younger at the receiver core, and they keep their young stud quarterback. So I don't hate it, but it is a lot to lose all that much on defense, especially in the secondary, especially in a division when you have Tyreek Hill. Like it's going to be tough. But the one thing that we do know is the Bills can play in the cold, and the Dolphins cannot. So I think most likely the Bills will win the division. I could see the Dolphins winning it, but only because the Bills lost so much. And I don't think anyone should doubt the Bills like the Chiefs have been doubted. The Chiefs have proved time and time again that they're going to figure it out and they're going to find a way to win. Now, do the Bills deserve that same respect? Probably not. But your quarterback's a top 5 quarterback in the league, at minimum top 10. Like, you're going to figure it out. And you're going to be a playoff team. And like I said earlier, when you're in the playoffs, everything's on board. So it's just gotta make it to the dance and see what happens. So I think the Bills will most likely win the division and make some noise. What kind of noise? So they'll have to wait and see. And Joe is back. Hey, Joe.
All of the noise.
Yeah. So all you missed was I said I basically think the Bills will probably win the division, even though I can see the Dolphins winning the division. And I don't think that we should discount the Bills like the Chiefs have been discounted. Because whenever you have a top 5, top 10 quarterback, you're in it. So all you gotta do is make the playoffs and go from there. You make the dance, you can make it happen.
Another reason that I would say is, so what head coach do you trust the most in the division?
Probably, I don't know. I'd choose between McDermott and McDaniel.
Yeah. What quarterback do you trust the most?
Josh Allen.
I would generally lean to whoever's got the top of those two.
So my thing with Josh Allen, which I know talked about it a lot, and I just said it in my second TED Talk of the podcast. He turns the ball over too much. Got to protect the ball. And maybe, just maybe they are trying to do something like take the ball out of his hands. So they got Cook, they got the 2 tight ends, they got a younger receiving core, no drama, King, wide receiver, demanding the ball and stuff like that. And they'll figure it out. Losing a lot on defense, I think that's tough. Like I said, that it's not having a number 1 corner, at least not knowing if you have one, and then playing division with the Legion of Zoom. That's tough. That's tough. You got to score a lot of points, and they can score a lot of points. I don't doubt that. We can't doubt the Bills. Like they've been a great team year in and year out, regardless of Josh Allen's turnovers. If he cleans up like 10 of those turnovers, they could be number 1 seed easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's maybe the route they're trying to get into, is to maybe run the ball more. Maybe take some of that load off of Josh, because Josh is literally just like a one-man band. So I think they'll win the division.
I would say I lean that way just because of the coach and the quarterback.
So which coach do you think is more likely to get fired if they don't make the playoffs?
Jets, hands down, Saleh.
Well, I'm sorry. Between Bills and Dolphins.
I think if either one misses the playoffs, they're both gone.
I think McDermott's on a hotter seat.
Yeah, I will just say that this is the Robert Flores year. They don't keep coaches long in Miami.
The Robert Flores firing was so wild.
Yeah, they don't keep coaches long, but the coach can't tell you who to sign for a freaking offensive lineman. To me, it's the GM needs to be fired. Trash can.
I don't hate that. They just need a reboot. Maybe actually move to New York for the Jets.
Oh,
Actually move to New York. I know that was random with the Dolphins, but when you said Salah, I was thinking like because it technically it fits for the Jets too. Fire the management.
yeah.
Like it basically fits for.
The
They just
the
got rid of Belichick. But.
the problem is for the Jets, it's the owner that's making all the moves.
Sounds familiar, huh?
Yeah, figured that would for you.
Hey, I can't complain with the moves Jerry has made. Because without the moves Jerry has made, we wouldn't have Micah, we wouldn't have CD, we wouldn't have Dak, we wouldn't have all of the Hall of Famers that have come through Dallas since the 90s. Like, he just needs to stay off of football-related stuff. Like, pick the players. He's great at evaluating players and getting talent. He just needs to let the coaches coach.
I think he's really lucky at when it comes to evaluating players.
Why are we hating, Joe?
Well, okay. Let's just be honest. We don't know, but was CD at the top of their board when they picked CD? Like, did they want somebody that was picked maybe right before?
Not to my knowledge, because I told you they were getting CD before the draft. You called me crazy.
Okay. What about Micah Parsons? I believe it was well known that they wanted Pat Surtain.
Yes, that one is true. They did want Pat Surtain.
Okay.
Because that was their position of need. And I believe Micah was second on their board, and they were able to trade back and get assets and then still get Micah.
Okay. And then another one. I'm pretty sure it was widely known that Jerry Jones wanted Paxton Lynch, and the Broncos traded up in front of him to get him.
Yeah, it was also well known that they wanted Menzel over Zach Martin. But you're talking about ifs and buts and candy and nuts.
I'm just saying I'm not disputing the luck. I'm just saying, is he really that great, or is he like, damn shucks, I really wanted him? Who are you thinking we should get? Is it more of that?
He's great. He's great. Because you got to think of like all of the talent he's like his entire time there. It's not just like 6 guys. Like it's like he's not as good as he, huh?
I don't think Jerry is the guy that goes, you know what? We should draft Travis Frederick. We should draft Zach Martin. I think that's probably an analytics guy or somebody underneath him being like, I'm telling you, this guy is awesome.
But who makes the picks?
Yes. But like, I don't know that he has an eye for talent.
Maybe not like he used to, but he used to be the draft evaluator guy. Jimmy Johnson could maybe he still talks to Jimmy Johnson. You know what? If the Cowboys brought back Jimmy Johnson, I might actually think it's our year. Jimmy Johnson at his age showed more fire on the Fox Damn pregame show than the Cowboys did in the playoffs.
We'll get into it when we do the NFC East, but I really got to know who's the starting running back.
Oh, for the Cowboys? It's Zeke. It's Zeke.
Okay, who's the second down running back?
Dowdle.
Who's the third down running back?
I don't think they're going to do – you think they're going to do by committee? I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to go through deep. I think they'll have a specialty back and they'll use Deuce Vaughn, but it'll be Zeke and Dowdle.
I don't dispute that, but I'm just looking at the lineup and I'm just like, what are you doing here?
It's funny how they went from let's pay Zeke to now we're not going to pay anybody. in terms of running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely Zeke. But yeah, that's we're in the AFC, Joe. AFC. That's NFC.
You started with Jerry Jones.
Well, you started with the slight jab.
No, I said Woody likes to put his freaking hand into too many pots, and you said sounds just like somebody else I know.
Yeah, and then you said I knew it would get something out of you. Well. So if foot to the fire, I don't remember if you said that. Who wins the East?
I'm going Bills just because I trust the quarterback the most.
I think Bills and Dolphins both make the playoffs, but yeah, I'm going Bills.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not supposed to agree. There's supposed to be anarchy. Anarchy.
All right, give me the Patriots.
I
It's your
don't know what
Texans,
that
baby.
means, but I love it. Well, I guess that's pretty good spot to leave it, right? Next
Yes,
week
sir.
we have the AFC
South.
South.
Yeah, we went north and then east.
So yeah. Now we got the AFC South next week, followed by the AFC West, and then we'll get into the NFC. And we're going to crush that too. We're going to crush it all day long. All day long. So, as always, hope you guys enjoyed our stupidness. Hope you enjoyed my TED Talks. Joe's dog Ripley. And
Yeah, she's drinking water right now. You could probably hear it.
I hear nothing.
Oh.
We
Very
are
well for me.
available everywhere you can get your podcasts. Everywhere. So please do us a favor. Rate, like, comment, 5 stars. Let us know what you think. How can we be better? How can we be worse? Don't answer that. Just hit us up, comment. We respond to comments. Let us know how we're doing, what we could do differently, improvement. Like I said earlier, always 110%. In anything you do, and you will be successful. That was my TED Talk earlier, Joe.
Oh,
Recapping. Because
I'm sorry, y'all. I hope to not give him more TED Talks.
You will hear my TED Talk, Joe, when you listen back to it, right?
You're not wrong.
Hey, and you're probably gonna be like, you know what? That is right. Context matters, Joe. Bad mojo, Jojo.
No, apparently that's on my phone still.
All right, and I guess that'll do it for the bunch of idiots, and we'll see you next week.
Asta.